I'm sure we'll have a few families popping on as we go. There's a little bit of that we need to figure out with our Google Meets and just how that's working with outside people still trying to get in. So hopefully everyone was able to get in on the link that I sent just recently at 5:59. And if not, oh good, Sarah's on. We will record this and it will be published to our whole community. So if anyone wanted to, they could get on and look back and see all the important dates that are coming up and items that we discussed this evening. But thank you all for joining us and getting the newest information that is out there. Really tonight is a little bit of a review of just kind of what's coming. All of our dates, all of the dates have kind of shifted out about a week, just with the ice storm and everything that hit us. And so we'll kind of talk about the new dates of return and hybrid and our orientation week tonight. Hopefully we'll all be on the same page. And if, again, we'll have time at the end for any questions, Q&A, anything that I can help answer. We have a bunch of staff on this evening, which is awesome. And Mrs. Learman will be kind of helping me with any questions in the chat. So if you do have questions at any time tonight, please just throw them in the chat and we'll read those off in order at the end. That'll help kind of the meeting move forward, and then we'll take all questions at the end. So even if there's something right now you have that is burning, please put that in the chat and then we'll answer that at the very end. And hopefully that helps our meeting move forward and values your time. I know everyone's so busy and there's so much that we have going on in our lives right now. Not that we needed another catastrophe, but we had it last week. And we're all still, I'm sure, all still trying to recover or gain power back or make ends meet at home, and we are all aware of that. So I'm going to share my screen, and I just have a few slides this evening. And then again, we will have questions at the end. Can you see that? All right. So we're going to just a little ice storm follow-up. We're going to talk a little bit about our dates and limited in-person instruction, where we're at with our school. We'll discuss again the soft start dates and our orientation week, what hybrid looks like, our safety reminder starting in-person and hybrid, what that looks like. And again, we'll finish with some important dates this evening. So I just got notice tonight that our school, we do have an ETA finally after a week of non-power at our school. It looks like we will have power resumed by 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. tomorrow morning at Victor Point School. So we've been out of power ever since the ice storm hit, and it's actually been an off-limit site to our staff. You know, I know all of our in-boundary students and parents are aware of the catastrophe up there and what hit, and power cords and broken poles. I think someone counted 21 down Dorfler Road and 30 something down Victor Point, all the way down Victor Point Road. So we are definitely the last school in the district without power by a week. And you know, we are aware of the strain that our families have been under, and that our kids and our parents, and what that stress puts on after even a COVID. And we still have families without power at this point. And so it's been a long go for us all, but we were hoping our school would be the first up with power, and we could bring all our kids and families to our school for a hub. And that didn't work out very well. But we are hoping to regain power tomorrow. And so that's great news. I know that we probably will have many of us checking in on the school tomorrow, and we're hoping we have internet. We're hoping we have water. We're hoping that it all works when our power returns. So we'll keep you posted and exactly when our staff will be back in buildings. But at this point, it looks for sure like we will be fully back in buildings by Monday. We'll be fully staffed, and all of our staff will, K-5 and all of our classified staff will be back in buildings full-time this coming Monday. And I'm sure most of our 6-8 staff will be around as well. So that's what that looks like. I know many of you know that we do have some families in need at this point, especially that are living way out, and that power has not been established in those homes. And if there's anyone like with very pressing needs or anything that we can help with, or our school, or delivering water or providing showers or anything that we can do, we have means to do that. So if you know of a family or know of a name or know of someone in need, whether it be food, water, we are here to serve you and help in any way. So if you could somehow email us, contact the school, we would like to know how we can help and help our families through this time. And then just know that we did start back up instruction today at school. Thursday and Friday were days that we were gonna, depending on where our families were at and where our kids were at, and power and internet and generators, we were gonna start back up instruction today. And we have done that. But we are aware that many of you are still in a area of need and struggle, and kids are as well. And so we give you grace, and our teachers will give you grace. All you have to do is reach out and let them know your situation and your story at this moment in time. And just know we are here from you, and grace is granted. Assignments are off the table. Anything new is off the table until your family is ready for that. And so we hope you reach out on that. So limited in-person instruction, right now our K-5 is basically done until we start back up on our soft start March 8th. And we would still have a week of our 6-8 that we would be able to provide next week. And so if we are fully up and our power is a go and we can get our kids to our school, grades 6 through 8, we will continue LIPI next week through March 5th, which is next Friday. So that is kind of where we are. Our K-5 staff comes back next week. And again, we haven't had power for over a week, and we have so much to do and clean up and move out into storage containers and get classes ready that our K-5 will use next week to get ready for our hybrid, which will start soft start the following week. So what will our orientation soft start week look like? Our new start date for K-5 is the week of March 8th. So we are not changing the middle school orientation date. That will still be the week of March 15th. So Monday and Tuesday of both of those weeks will be regular comprehensive distance learning with, you know, a bunch of orientation that will be happening through virtual, through teacher interaction with students of what that will look like when they come back in hybrid. We'll have PowerPoints, we'll have videos, we'll be talking to our kids about everything from arrival to dismissal to bathrooms to lunch to walking through the halls to PE. We have a blueprint committee that has put together our blueprint and what we have told ODE that we will abide by. And so we will be taking our kids through that Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday of both weeks of our soft start, both K-5 and 6-8, will be full hybrid learning days. And kids will come to the school 8:30, be dropped off by a bus or parent. We will have them a full day until 3 o'clock. and we will run a full school day, and we will orientate our kiddos through that. So Wednesday is actually our B cohort that will be coming. That's L through Z. And Thursday is our A cohort, A through K. And then we will be using Friday that week to just go through what those last 2 days look like, any tweaks we need to make, how we can get better for staff, how we can get better for students and our parents, and any adjustments we need to make for the following week when we really kick off hybrid and full go for all of our students at Victor Point School. Just some safety information. I think if we remember 3 things, it's not that hard for a return. I mean, I think we're making it some days way too hard to return to school, and masks are required. We have social distancing at all times, 6 feet apart, hallway traffic, playground activities. And lastly, hand washing. We'll be scrubbing those hands and washing our kids' hands, washing our own hands. And with those 3 things, school is very safe at this point. And so those are like 3 areas we'll really be pushing with our students and staff. And I think sometimes we make it way too hard. Distancing, washing hands, and masks. We do have a possibility for a daytime custodian to be at Victor Point, which would be really slick just for lunchtime, sanitation, wiping bathrooms down throughout the day. So we're still working on that. There will be no visitors to Victor Point, no volunteers, no parents at this point. Only essential volunteers, which means like special education, speech pathologists, English language learners, that kind of instruction. Those will be the only volunteers in our school at this time. We want our kids to really dress warm. We will be opening windows in classrooms and doors when they enter each morning and when they exit. Ventilation is key. And so we want kids to long sleeves and coats, and they can be wearing those. And our kids at Victor Point are so dang tough anyway. They're outside at 30 degrees bouncing on a trampoline with no coat on, so they're going to be fine. But we're asking them to dress warm, and the school will not be as warm as normal. And then we're keeping our cohorts very small and stable in case we do have something that pops up, or we don't have a whole school go or a whole class go. Our cohorts are very small and stable. So I'll be sending this PowerPoint out to all of you. So you'll have this, so don't feel like you got to write this down. But March 5th is our last day for grades 6-8 LIPI. March 8th through 12th is our orientation week for K-5. And of that week, we'll have a full day of orientation where kids will come to our school. March 10th, our B cohort. March 11th, our A cohort. And then March 15th through the 19th, K-5 hybrid begins. So that Monday will be normal, online, no students at school. But Tuesday through Friday will be hybrid, full day. Teachers will be teaching, students will be in classrooms. And then March 15th through 19th, actually our first full week of hybrid for K-5 will actually be our orientation for our 6-8. And then we will also have a full day orientation for our 6-8. On the 17th will be cohort B, and the 18th will be cohort A. And so we'll actually feel like we have a full school of kids, even though it'll be a half a school of kids. Should be fun. And then spring break happens, and then our older kids start right after spring break on March 29th. The district is still in discussion on our week that we missed due to the ice storm, whether we're going to make those days up or not. I know that I have a meeting in the morning that's going to be discussing school calendar and what that looks like. And so as soon as I know how the school calendar is adjusted or not, I will let our community know. So what will hybrid look like for your students that are attending either Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Friday? It'll be full days of instruction when they come to school, and it will be 3 days of learning when they're at home, and that learning will be self-directed. So our teachers will be sending home learning activities that are engaging and that are meaningful, but they're sending them home to do those activities on their own. Tuesday, Friday, we talked about regular school hours, 8:30 to 3. We will have masks and 6-foot distancing at all times, including PE and recess. And we've discussed the rest of that. So right now at Victor Point, we have 174 students enrolled in hybrid. And so we actually had quite a few students come back from like homeschooling or wherever they went and come back for hybrid, which was really awesome. And I know to start next school year, I'm sure we'll be back up to our regular right around 215 as our max. And I know we'll be there. We only have one student staying in CDL. And then we've had 8 students enrolled in Fox Online all year, and there's still 8 students enrolled in our Fox Online program. So that's kind of what our enrollment looks like at this point. And I'll kind of finish there.
What is the earliest time kids can be dropped off?
8:15.
Do we know what time the bus will be able to pick up the kids at Robert Frost?
We don't have a bus route yet. As soon as that's published, the Durham Bus Company will post that on the school's website, on our school website page, and on a district website page. But those routes have not been completed. They've been given to Durham, and we are waiting for routes for cohort A and cohort B, but we do not have a time for that yet.
If my child has speech online right now, will they make sure that they have it in person on one of their in-person days, or will she still have it online?
That's going to be up to you and the speech pathologist to kind of discuss what's working for you and your family. A lot of that is fluid. And so if it's working really well online, I know a lot of parents really like it online. It's just some flexibility and the student doesn't miss class and certain aspects like that. But I know that they are very flexible and they want to do what's best for you and your student. So that would be a discussion that I could help with, or you could have with who is serving your student, and just find out what's best. And I think we could make whatever work.
Will recess equipment be available for kids?
Yes, we have 3 cohorts for recess. Our K2 is 1 cohort, so they will have a full gamut of recess equipment that they will be using daily. That will be sanitized and sprayed at the end of each day. There'll be a 3-5 cohort of full. We've been working on this of getting how this all looks out at the playground, and we have 3 different carts now for each different cohort, and we are trying to fully stock those up so every kid has something that they would like to play with, from jump ropes to balls to cones to hula hoops, whatever that looks like. But each cohort will have plenty of items to keep them busy and have a blast with at recess.
Will students still get PE?
Every student will have PE every day, and our PE schedule remains as it always has the last couple of years with Ms. Traeger. Every K-5 student will get 30 minutes a day of PE, and every 6th through 8th grader will get 40 to 45 minutes a day full PE. She's wondering some days what she's going to do with like classes of 6 cohort, but she is so good. She's going to kids are going to have a blast no matter what we do. So yes, PE every day for every kid.
The difference though with that is 6-8 is not dressing down this year. They can't use the locker rooms.
Thank you for mentioning that. No locker room use. Kids will be in their regular school clothes. There is no dressing down for any student, and they'll go into PE and back to class. And so we're hoping they bring deodorant and especially for our older kids.
Yes.
And Ms. Traeger might have to take a little.
Sorry, and for the kids, after we give the kids back to them, deodorant's always good.
Yes.
Will students work on Chromebooks at home on home days, and do they need to bring them back and forth to school?
Yes. Every day, students will bring their Chromebook to school with their charger or their iPad, and they'll bring it home with them every day with their charger and iPad. So that piece will come and go each day because students will need that to do work on their home learning days. And what did Miss Friesen call that? And I was meaning
Chrome days and home days.
Yes. So there is
school days, sorry. Class days and Chrome days. That's what it was.
Class days and Chrome days, but students will need to, those will come and go, but we need our community and our parents to really understand that there's 5 learning days of every week. There is no Monday off day. There is no non-hybrid days. I mean, every day there's accountability for learning, whether you're at school or at home.
And with that, when they're bringing them back and forth to school, it would be helpful if they came charged. There are minimal charging areas for the kids. So if it comes partially charged or if it dies throughout the day, there's ways to charge that, but not for a whole class set to charge during the day. So that would be helpful if they could come charged. That was the last question so far.
I know you guys have had little and please don't think they're like little questions or stupid questions or because every question you ask pushes us to get better and have an answer and be able to make you feel comfortable. So no matter what it is, feel free to ask it. Staff, is there anything that you want to point out that you think might be important to our families to know or to be thinking about? I know we'll be putting out a little bit of a supply list either tomorrow or early next week to give you about a week. But there are some things that we're going to want for students to bring into classrooms on that first day. So please expect that coming. But if staff has anything that you'd like to point out or share or discuss, that would be great as well.
I thought of something, and I'll be sending this out to my kindergarten class as well, but lunch this year is in our classrooms. It always has been, which is different for some kids. But in the kindergarten level and even first grade level, probably, they need help opening things. And technically, I'm not supposed to help them. I'm still supposed to be 6 feet away from them. I'm not going to let a child go hungry, but it's very, very important this year for younger kids that you send things, if you're sending a lunch from home, things they can open and they can eat on their own. So I would suggest Ziploc bags. Plastic containers are really hard. Sometimes they get them open, but their food ends up everywhere. So that was just something I thought of as we were sitting here. And like I said, I'll send something specifically to my kindergarten class, but everything needs to be opened, be able to be opened by the child. So yeah, so that was just something new this year for kids, and microwaves will not be used by children or staff. I don't really know all those picky rules, but I know that kids cannot bring things to be microwaved. Lunches will be brought to them in their classrooms this year from Mrs. Dixon in the kitchen. So just one thing I thought I'd mention now.
Yeah, one big piece of kind of this whole COVID and is our lunch program, and we have a free lunch program from kids all the way pre-K to 18 years of age in our district. And so kids that need it or want it are provided a free breakfast and lunch at our school every day and are actually sent home with dinner. So if that's something that you and your family want to take, it's a sack lunch, and we will deliver those to classrooms every day. And if kids are going to eat breakfast, we are asking them to be at the school at 8:15. So they have 15 minutes to eat that breakfast before 8:30 when instruction begins. But that is an option for all families this year, is free lunches throughout the remainder of this school year. And a pretty cool thing to take advantage of if that's something you and your family would want to do.
Jamie?
Yes.
With those free lunches, I know a lot of times when we pick them up right now, they're like frozen. Will they be warmed up for the kids?
Well, yeah, depending on the food and what they are and what it is to eat. I can't speak specifically to that, but I would hope that if it's supposed to be warm, it would be warm. And if it was cold, it would be cold. And if you had any issues with that, just let us know, Robert. But
I think the frozen piece is the dinner that gets sent home.
Stop. Okay, I was just wondering because sometimes when they do like the lunches for their like the chicken patties and stuff, they want you to warm them up in your microwave so everything's like cold or frozen. There's nothing warm. So I was just making sure that they actually get something warm if it has to be.
yeah, I am sure that would be the case, Robert. If we were serving in classrooms, we're not going to let a kid eat a cold chicken patty. So yeah, those type of things would definitely happen. And please let us know if it's not.
Thank you.
I had a question about that. Do we have to register them to get those lunches, or will they just receive it if they didn't get sent a lunch with them?
You know, we would like to know from parents how many each day. Like, it's nice to know, like, are you going to be a cold lunch eater from home, or are you going to want our school lunch from school? Because it's a lot of planning. And okay. Our Mary works tirelessly in our kitchen, and this has been a huge, imagine giving every kid 3 full meals a day that wants that service. It's a big undertaking. So we need to know from each family, and we'll take that as soon as kids start getting into school, but which families would like the service and which want to bring from home. So we'll be working on that as well, if that makes sense.
I have one thing to add too, Mr. McCarty.
Yes.
Just thinking ahead for water bottles. Obviously the kids can't use the water fountain, so they can use the filler on the water. Our fountains have the water bottle fillers. So just keep that in mind when you're getting a water bottle for your child for school, that it's not going to leak, because that causes an issue, not only in classrooms, but in the gym. And believe me, when the kids come to the gym, they want water. And it just takes time to clean all that up when the kid's backpack's over or whatever, the water bottle's over. So just make sure when you send your kid with the water bottle that it's a solid water bottle that doesn't leak. Just helps.
Yeah, and we're going to want water bottles at each desk. You know, it's nice for a kid to take a mask break. Anytime they drink or eat, they can take their mask off. And so it's nice to have a water bottle at a desk so a kid can just relax for a minute, take a nice drink and put that up. And we do have water bottle fillers all throughout the school. And so those are working for all of our kids. So that's a great point. Thank you, Ms. Traeger.
Will lunch still be offered for the kids not at school?
Yes, they will. And those could be picked up at the high school every day from 11 to 1.
Will there be snack time?
Oh, we love snack time. And yeah, especially K2. I would imagine the older kids get, the less snack time we get, but it's nice for mass breaks. And, you know, we want the kids to be comfortable. So whatever we need to do to make them comfortable, if we need 6-8 snack break, let's do it. Yes, there will be snack break.
In regards to the bus schedule, I don't know if there's a time. I'm sure you don't have a route all built out. They don't have routes built out yet. But does anybody know, and Jamie, you may or may not know this, what time the bus at Robert Frost picks up and drops off approximately?
That's a big question, Annie, and we haven't got those routes yet. But they're aware that we have quite a few parents are going to drop off there and that we need to know that time. but we just haven't been delivered those routes yet. So I can't answer that. I want to say last year it was right around 7:45 or 7:40. But I can't give you a time yet, but as soon as those are posted, we'll get that to our community so our families in town know when and where that is. So I know that's a big one for you. So yes, we'll get that to you. And Annie, feel free to call Durham and ask them that question. That might.
That's funny. I've called numerous times this week for my own students. So
Okay.
I figured what the answer was, but hey, I'll get it in there as much as I can for Victor Point there.
Yes, please.
Whatever I can.
Please. That'd be great.
When will we know if our request to change cohorts was approved or not?
You should already know that. So if you don't know that, please email Lisa Kinsey or myself, and I can check that for you quickly. We already have our cohorts made and done. And if you requested that, we sure tried to honor those requests. So please email me ASAP or Lisa Kinsey, and we can check that for you, because that's big if those aren't correct, because we have submitted those and we are pretty final on those, and would love to know. Who asked that question?
Sophia Durst.
Sophia. I will get back to you tonight, Sophia.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When did you want?
Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa just texted me. She said we're good.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa. Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions we can help answer for you at this point? Next week's going to be a whirlwind for us and our staff. Again, I know it's a whirlwind for everyone, but we haven't been at the school for over a week now, and we have a lot to get ready for you and your kiddos, and we're super excited, but I think that anxiety a little bit, and there's so much on the plate to get done, and I know our staff is so amazing, and our parents are that amazing, and our kids are as well, and it'll all come together. I know once next week starts and we start checking off boxes and getting fully ready, but we're so excited to see you and your kiddos, and it seems like this moment we've waited for so long, and then how would an ice storm, I mean, I don't even know how that happens, but it did. And so we're pushed back one more week, but we'll get there. Any other questions? We will still be having Monday pickups. I know that there's certain things that need to come and go for home. So for a while, we're going to continue Monday pickups, and we'll just see how much our teachers utilize that and how much that's needed, especially SING kids, how much we can send home with them. But for a while, we're going to continue with Monday pickups just to see how that looks.
Are the lunches going to be on the table when we get there, or are they you're going to give them to us?
We're going to give them to you right at lunchtime. So when your lunch starts, we are going to have those delivered right to your desk. You're not even going to have to move, and that food is going to be right in front of you, ready to eat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That was the best question of the night, by the way. Any other questions for the good of the order before we call it a night? We are not going to meet next week in a town hall setting. I think we're pretty kicked off, ready to go. So if there are any big outline questions or anything you have, please email the school, call the school. We will have power by Monday, is what I'm told. and we'll have all next week to answer any questions you have or any anxiety or any stressors. We are here to make this the most seamless transition possible, and we'll do whatever it takes for you and your family to feel comfortable. So we hope you guys have a great night, great evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
The fire alarm is going off